everybody, and welcome to Making Mealtime Magic with me, Dawn, the Kitchen Witch from Cucina, Aurora Kitchen Witchery. It's November, and you know what that means: soups, stews, and yes, Thanksgiving. So today, we're gonna be making a really great butternut squash soup. A lot of ingredients, but pretty simple. You pretty much just put everything in a pot, let it simmer, then puree it for a couple of minutes before serving. That's it. Everything is easy and delicious, and of course, seasonal. So, this is what you'll need for today's butternut squash soup recipe. 1 large butternut squash, cut into 1-inch pieces. 3 tablespoons rosemary infused olive oil. 1 onion chopped. 4 cloves of garlic crushed. 2 apples cored and chopped. 2 32-ounce containers of organic chicken broth or vegetable broth for our vegan friends. 1 cup apple cider, sea salt and black pepper to taste, and if you like, cinnamon or clove, just a pinch at the very end to garnish. So let's grab a nice deep soup pot, head over to the stove, and make some autumn mealtime magic. So this is a really easy recipe, and you're gonna find we're just gonna put everything right in this big giant pot. And of course, we're gonna start out with not burning ourselves. We try not to burn ourselves on a regular basis. Medium-high heat. Rosemary oil to start this recipe because it's nice and savory. It's got a very good complement for all of our winter vegetables. 2 tablespoons right in the bottom of the pan, just like usual. You find we start a lot of recipes this way, and that's wonderful because you get in the habit of doing it and then you always know where to begin. And sometimes that can be challenging when you're cooking, especially if you need to improvise something. You could say, well, the Kitchen Witch says I always start with 2 tablespoons of olive oil in the pan and then add whatever I want. So you'll change the flavor of it depending on what kind of oil you use. So today we're using rosemary. We're gonna add our onions, add our garlic, and we're gonna give that a second to let them sweat. If you have a lot of time and you want this to simmer for a couple of hours, then I would use raw butternut squash. If you'd like to speed up the cooking process, then get some butternut squash that's pre-cut at the grocery store and roast it for about a half hour beforehand. We got a good sizzle going. We want to just soften those onions. And now we're going to throw in all of our other ingredients. We've got butternut squash. I sometimes like to throw a little sweet potato in there too. Gives it a nice sweetness. I've got my chopped up apple. My broth. And a nice little bit of our apple cider. Don't forget to throw in a little extra fresh ground pepper. And a little salt, just for good measure. Now remember, you can make this a completely vegan recipe by using vegetable broth instead of chicken broth. And I do always recommend that you use a lower sodium, organic, and something that is MSG free. And that is it, my friends. We're gonna let this simmer about 40 minutes until all of the vegetables are nice and soft. So our soup's been simmering about 45 minutes, an hour. Look at that, it's beautiful. Smells absolutely fantastic, and all of our veggies are nice and soft. So we're going to take this over to the food processor, puree it, and transfer it to our soup tureen. So while our soup is still warm, or hot we should say, we're gonna ladle some into our food processor to puree it. It's delicious no matter what you do, but you really wanna make this into a bisque. What's nice about this is by putting it in the food processor, we actually wind up having a very, very, very creamy soup without having to add any cream. I'm gonna turn on my food processor, so it's gonna get real loud in here for about half a minute. So here we have our beautiful butternut squash soup. Absolutely delicious. You saw how simple that was. We're gonna have a little appetizer right now. This is great For a cold winter night, this is great for your Thanksgiving dinner. If you'd like to have an appetizer, if you're like me and you have this beautiful soup tureen, I only ever get to use it once a year. So I can put this on the table at a buffet and people can help themselves, or I can plate some individual soup and serve it as an appetizer. But I will say, it makes a great lunch. It freezes well and it'll stay in your refrigerator good up to about a week and a half. And it is vegetarian. Pairs really, really well with a nice bitter greens winter salad or a nice grilled cheese sandwich if you're having it for a lunch. So, thanks for joining me, Dawn the Kitchen Witch from Cucina Aurora Kitchen Witchery. I hope you're having a wonderful Thanksgiving season and enjoy.